Hello everyone, Writeup here, and today we'll be solving a lesson learned. Apart from purely solving, we'll also talk a little bit about SQL Injection, so how it works, why it works, and how to perform it. Alright, let's just copy the IP address, enter it into the browser, and boom, we're in. Here we see a simple login page, nothing special. Let's maybe try simple and the most basic payload. Put admin or 1 equals 1. Let's put something like this. So pretty much if there is SQL injection vulnerability present, we'll add this to a query. Let's maybe launch mousepad and I'm gonna show you how SQL injection actually works. For example, when we log into the website, our server executes SQL query to database, which will be something like select all from users where username equals something and password equals something. So it's perfectly fine. Let's put it this way, it's perfectly fine, but let's just use file type as source and just get SQL, so you'll have nice highlights. So it's all fun when this is just a typical normal input, but when we start to inject some special characters, then it turns worse, because if we use this payload, which was admin or 1 plus 1, 1 equals 1, we end up with something like select all from users where username equals here we put our payload admin or 1 equals 1 and password equals something. But you know what? I think you see it right now that because we added this little character here, it closes the whole comparison, and then treats the rest as if it was a typical SQL. Got here also a command, which is these 2 dashes. Then we also end up with nothing. So we technically bypass the login. Let's say we try it. Oops. It looks like you've injected or 1 equals 1 or similar into your username field. Every row in the user table is returned, and logging only if 1 row matches the query. So you see here it would not work. However, your injection also made it into a delete statement, and now the flag is gone, like completely gone, to reset the box and restore it. Or is dangerous and should almost never be used for precisely this reason. Not even SQL map, which is a pretty popular tool for exploiting SQL injection, use or unless you set risk equals 3, the maximum. Be better, be like SQL map. Lesson learned? Yes, lesson is learned. It's learned. So what we did here, as you see, we did in that command, but we passed or 1 equals 1, and it then made it to delete statement. Deleted all from site table flag. I don't know what it looks like, where there was some condition. Well, no, ID equals 1, or that also made it here. Same, because ID makes no sense. Let's say where it was username equals admin or 1 equals 1. Exactly, this means that it will delete everything, every single record from flag table where username equals admin or 1 equals 1. And because 1 equals 1 is always true for every single record, then it will delete whole database. And that's why we should never ever use it. Nice idea here was to just purely brute force the login page, but right now we can't do anything. The flag is gone, even if we restart the page. The same. Let's reset the machine and figure out what's going on here. So, if we wanted to brute force, we would need to use Hydra or some other tool. Some websites show different error messages when invalid data is passed. So if we input, for example, invalid username, that will just give us invalid username. If we input valid username but invalid password, it will just spit out invalid password. And that's exactly what's here as well, as far as I tested. It pretty much shows you when you guess correctly the username, it shows you the password. It shows you that it's always only invalid password. I will make it a bit quicker because I have brute forced it before. As you see, we got a bunch of logins here, which are pretty much Martin, Patrick, Stuart, Marcus, right? And we can use them. Let's copy this and paste it here. We'll log for a while, but to bypass this simple thing, instead of using or 1 equals 1, we can use something like Martin. Here also add this beautiful character, and then just add an SQL comment and space. But there's also one big concern here. If you are uploading it from the web, browsers frequently omit this trailing space. So, to craft a proper payload, we can just add some character here. It can be dash, it can be letter, it can be something else. So just add this dash and copy the payload. Open, paste, password, whatever, and login. You see? That's how you have a flag. Let's read what's here. Well done. You bypassed the login without deleting the flag. If you are confused by this message, you probably didn't even try an SQL injection using something like or. Yeah, we tried. For anyone else can reset the box. Lesson learned? Personally, learned for sure. I hope you learned as well. Using OR is risky and should rarely be used in real-world engagements. Since it loads all rows of the table, it may not even bypass the login if the login expects only one row to be returned. That's also a good practice if you are a web developer and you're creating login. Do not place the condition that the returned values needs to be greater than 0. No, just put that, for example, in PHP, if we had statement row count should be just equal 1, not greater than 0, because this will allow attacker to bypass login if SQLi is present, but this not really via, of course, via that OR method. Loading all rows can also cause performance issues on database. However, the real danger of OR is when it ends up either on update or delete. This will cause the notification or deletion of every row. For example, consider that after logging a user application, we use the username to input update user's login status. Update online. Yeah. A successful injection of OR here would cause every user to appear online. A single delete statement, possibly to delete prior session data, could wipe session data for all users of application. Consider using AND as an alternative with a valid input. In this case, a valid username to test confirmed SQL injection. Yeah, just imagine for a second if, for example, Facebook had this vulnerability and someone used this OR payload And then, when login was bypassed, everyone on Facebook would be active. This would be a pretty nightmare. Let's copy this and paste it here. Alright. As we see, Slack works. So that's really about it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little talk. I hope you also understood how SQLi works in practice. If you want to learn more, you can always go to portswigger.net, whereas in Academy module, you can just find self-learning path, and then search here for SQL Injection. We see it right here. Read SQL Injection. You can get started. Of course, create an account first. I'm not logged in, so I can't show you anything. But as it was written here, it was written pretty much everywhere on Wikipedia, on Portswigger, and on every other reasonable source. It should be written. But alright, that's it for my talking. Check out other write-ups. Personally, I recommend you the publisher one, which will appear somewhere up there. Also, check out my blogs. You can also support me on Patreon if you want to. I'll appreciate that. That's really about it. See ya in the next videos, and I will meet. What else? Subscribe.